Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom, there was a wise king who ruled over his people with great care. He was known for his love of hunting, and whenever he could, he would venture into the forests with his trusted minister and soldiers. One hot summer morning, the king went hunting with his wise minister and a group of soldiers. As they rode through the forest, the king suddenly spotted a deer. He shouted,
"Look, a deer!"
And without waiting, he raced after it on his horse. The minister followed him quickly. Together, they chased the deer through the trees. The soldiers tried to follow, but they soon left behind. The deer ran fast, jumping over bushes and disappearing deeper into the forest. The king and the minister stopped their horses and they looked around. They realized they were now far from their soldiers. Both of them were tired and thirsty after the long chase.
"Where did the deer go?"
The king asked, but the deer was nowhere to be seen. The king wiped the sweat from his forehead. He looked at the minister and said,
"I'm so thirsty. Can you find some water nearby?"
The minister smiled and replied,
"Don't worry, Your Majesty. I will search around and see if I can find a stream or a well."
The king nodded.
"Good. Hurry, my throat feels as dry as the desert."
The minister started looking for water, with the king following him. After a short time, the minister pointed ahead and said,
"Your Majesty, there is a well."
The king smiled with relief.
"Great."
They both hurried towards the well, hoping to find water inside. The king and the minister got off their horses near the well. The king rested his hands at the boundary of the well. The king leaned over the edge of the well and peeped down into the well. His face turned to disappointment. He let out a long, tired sigh.
"Oh, no water inside the well."
The king muttered. He took a step back, rubbing his forehead in frustration.
"This well is completely dry. What can we do now?"
The minister said,
"Your Majesty, perhaps we can find another well or stream."
The king shook his head, his frustration growing.
"We have been searching for hours. The sun is burning, and we are out here with no water. Can't we even find a drop of water?"
He was running his fingers through his hair.
"Why did I chase that deer? Why didn't I wait for the soldiers? Now we are stranded in the middle of this endless forest, with no water, no soldiers, and no sign of the deer. What a disaster!"
The king was about to move away from the well, but accidentally he loosened one ring from his finger, and the ring fell into the well.
Oh no! Look, my ring has fallen inside it,
said the king. The minister looked inside, but he couldn't do anything as the well was very deep. It wasn't possible to go inside it and come back with the ring. The king said,
I cannot part with the ring at all. I have to get it back anyhow. It's my ancestral ring, which has been passed to the kings of the kingdom for many ages.
The minister said,
Your Majesty, I request you to calm down. Let me think how I can get your precious ring back.
Then he asked the king to wait for some time. After a few moments, the king saw the minister coming back with fresh cow dung in his hands. He threw the cow dung where the ring had fallen. Then he picked a stone up and tied it with a strong thread. He lowered the stone and let it rest on the cow dung. The king was curious and asked,
What are you doing?
The minister replied,
Your Majesty, I am getting your ring back. Just wait for some more time.
The minister got up and checked the condition of the cow dung. It had completely dried up. Then the minister pulled the thread. Since the stone had stuck to the dry cow dung, it came up. In fact, the ring had stuck to the cow dung. That was how the minister retrieved the king's ring. Moral: patience and wisdom can solve even the most difficult problems.